What's up everybody? Welcome to the Grow Tent. This is where all the magic happens. This is where I grow my own food aeroponically all year round. For those of you that are new here, I am new to all things aeroponics. I have been wanting to try growing sugar baby watermelons in my aeroponic bucket system for so long. So my last grow, I popped some seeds and I only got one seedling, so I threw it in the tower, and by the time it got its first flower, I had, as you guys know, a crazy thrip outbreak, and unfortunately I had to get rid of the seedling. This was my first grow back in 2023. I used the paper towel method to germinate my watermelon seeds. I dampened paper towel, laid the seeds down about an inch apart, sprinkled some cinnamon to prevent mold growth, covered it with another piece of damp paper towel, wrapped it up, and left it in a sprouting tray for about a week. In roughly 7 days, I had a seedling, which I transplanted to the yellow grow tower. Similar to my first grow with the peppers, I transferred them from the paper towel to a polyurethane sponge into the net pot and into the tower. It really wasn't that long before the plants started flowering in the grow tower, and it wasn't even getting the right fertilizer. A couple of weeks after I shot this video, I had to get rid of the plant. I got thrips on some of my plants and it spread to the whole tent, and I had no choice but to say goodbye. Then I tried germinating more seeds and then I killed them. But finally in this grow, I've gotten my act together. I popped some seeds and I've got 4 seedlings that have been thriving over the last several weeks. Similar to my first grow, I germinated these in the paper towel method, but this time, rather than transferring them to a polyurethane sponge, I transferred them to neoprene foam collars. I've been really loving the foam collars for both the grow tower and the bucket system lately. When using the foam collar, I had to make sure the seedling was large enough so the roots would stick out the bottom and get watered properly in the grow tower. However, the grow tower was its temporary home. It wasn't long before I was going to transfer it to the bucket system. The seedlings did pretty well in the grow tower for the short time they were there. I left them in the tower for about 2 weeks' time. Once they started growing larger and producing tendrils, I decided to move them to the bucket system. They went from a 2-inch net pot with a foam collar to a 3-inch net pot with a foam collar. During this time period, I was slowly transitioning them to the bloom fertilizer. From the day I moved them into the bucket system, the roots have been growing exponentially every single day. I add in 1 tablespoon of 3% H2O2 to every 4 liters of water added to my reservoir. In my short experience with aeroponics, this really helps keep the roots healthy, clean, and white. I did have some overwatering issues, which explains the yellowing of the roots. Sometimes it can be challenging to get the watering schedule right since I'm growing so many different plants in one system. But within no time, these plants responded really well to their watering schedule because we started to get some flowers, some of which were fruit-bearing. Watermelon plants are really long and vining, so as soon as I was able to, I had to get them up on the trellis to ensure they get the proper support they need. It's officially been 4 weeks since the watermelons have been in the buckets, and they couldn't be doing better. Similar to cucumbers, zucchini, and squash, watermelons need to be hand-pollinated in order to produce fruit. Since I'm new to growing watermelon, I'm still trying to figure it out, but one of the key things to know about growing indoor aeroponic watermelons is hand-pollination. When it comes to hand-pollinating a watermelon plant, you've got male flowers and female flowers. What we're looking at right here is a male flower. The male flower just has a simple stalk and nothing growing at the base of it. A female flower, on the other hand, is the one with the fruit growing at the base. The goal in hand pollination is to take the pollen from the male flower and transfer it to the female flower. If this step is not performed correctly, the fruit will not produce. When a watermelon plant is in its early growth stage, it's common to only get male flowers. So don't panic, just be patient. There are many different hand pollinations, but the one I've chosen to use for my watermelon plants is a paintbrush. I gently rub it in the center of the male flower and I collect all the pollen I can get. as you can see, we've gotten quite a bit of pollen onto the paintbrush, a good amount to get into the female flower. Fingers crossed we pollinate it properly. Depending on how much pollen comes off on your paintbrush, you may have to repeat this step several times. I haven't done much research on it, but there is a specific time of day that the flowers are the most ripe for pollination. But so far, I haven't had any issues with getting pollen from my flowers. In my previous grow, my watermelon flower wasn't producing any pollen. It's probably because it was in the grow tower for too long and wasn't getting the proper nutrients. Right now, I'm taking the pollen from the male flower and transferring it to the female flower. And it looks like I finally successfully hand-pollinated my watermelon plant because we are getting so many watermelons.
Good morning, everybody. I am so excited because I successfully pollinated my sugar baby watermelon. So let's freaking grow. We did it. I can't wait. Oh my god. It's literally first thing in the morning. I just got in the tent and I can't contain my excitement. Check that out, you guys. The reason how I can tell I pollinated it properly is because this one I pollinated and it's been the same size for several days. This one just came up a day ago, pollinated it, and it's already grown 3 times its size. So yes, we're gonna have sugar baby watermelons.
I am really looking forward to sharing my aeroponic watermelon journey with you guys. And if you're into all things indoor gardening, aeroponics, growing your own food, or just good vibes in general, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, follow me to learn more.